Sonic the Hedgehog, The Werehog's Awakening Chapter 4, Turning into a Monster.
There, he's right here!
Tails shouted as we followed him deeper into the forest. We all gasped. Sonic was knocked out cold, for his limp body was leaned against the tree. He had a claw mark on his cheek and a hard bite mark on his torso. I wanted to punch Sonic to see if that would make him wake up, but Tails told me not to. I decided to play long and not punch Sonic, even though I did wanna do it in the process. Soon, Sonic woke up. His green eyes looked at the four of us. He tried to get up, but he ended up falling in the process. "Take it easy, Hedgehog. You were no rough night," I said. Tom picked up Sonic as we made our way back to the truck. It was a good thing we packed our things first then, or we would have forgotten in the first place. By the time we got back in the truck, Sonic was feeling a bit better. He had a large bandage around his torso and where the creature bit him, and a small bandage on his cheek from the scratch marks. Sonic described it as a large beast, even though he couldn't see it fully due to how dark it was outside. It definitely looked large due to how big the bite mark was when he first saw it. Tails got a bit creeped out, but I told him that everything was okay.
Let's just say this, I'm glad I wasn't eaten alive. I'm okay with a bite mark and a scratch. It's better than being eaten at least.
Sonic said. I hesitated for a second. Sonic actually agreed to saying that a scratch and bite mark is better than being eaten. I wanted to yell at him, tell him he was crazy, but I kept it to myself.
Hey, why did you go out into the woods by yourself?
Tails asked Sonic. I was curious myself. It's not every night you see Sonic go out at night. He is usually more of a morning person due to his morning runs.
Well, just wanted to get away for a while. The forest looked so pretty at night, and there was a full moon. I wish you guys could have seen it.
Sonic said. Me and Tails stared at each other.
There was a full moon outside that night.
Tails and asked. Sonic nodded happily, then explained about how the creature from before attacked him and such.
Well, at least you're okay, but don't go wandering off like that. Could have been seriously hurt aside from getting a bite mark.
Tom sat in the front seat. Sonic nodded and decided to take a small nap. One thing I was surprised about was that Sonic didn't even read any of his comics on the way back. Surely he was feeling better by the time we got back home. Sighing, I decided to look out the window and let the bad times flow out of me.
Sonic's point of view.
It felt great to be back home, and it was a good thing that there were no beasts attacking me in the afternoon. I mean, sure, I could have sped away from that thing that attacked me, but it won a fight, and I gladly gave it one. What I'm really happy about is that it wasn't Dr. Robotic that ambushed me. I still have no idea if the dude survived that explosion, but I don't really like to think about that thought. I slowly got out of the truck once we pulled in, and Tails had helped me get out of the truck by grabbing my hands and flying me out. It took me some time to get back up on my feet. I did wobble a bit, but I managed to walk into the house without any problems. The rest of the day was a usual one, but I decided to watch TV for a bit to cure my boredom. Eventually, I decided to remove the bandage from around my torso. The bite mark had soothed down a bit. So I began to think something. I got attacked by a strange creature at night. I then laughed to myself. Now, there's no way that something that bizarre would happen to me. Besides, it's just a plain old bite mark. What's the worst that could happen? I thought to myself. As minutes turned into hours, the sky began to darken, signaling the end of the day. I was already so worn out from such a rough day, so I decided to hit the hay a bit earlier than usual. As soon as I was about to head to my room, the rest of my family stopped me.
Hey, Sonic, do you want to join us for movie night?
I shook my head and said, "No thanks, I'm fine." I yawned and then said, "I'll be heading to bed now. I'm very worn out from today. Night, you guys." Tom, Maddie, and even Knuckles didn't even try and stop me as I went to my room and closed the door behind me. I didn't even see Tails getting worried about me as he joined the others on the couch. Sighing, I took my shoes off, flopped onto my bed, and looked at the clock. It was almost 10, and I was so worn out I couldn't keep my eyes open. In an instant, I was asleep. The time was 11:30. I woke up with a sudden jolt after having a bad dream. Sighing in relief, I said to myself, it was all a dream. I noticed that I was under my covers. Guess Tom tucked me in when I fell asleep. I felt a bit parched and decided to go get some water, so slipped out of bed and placed my shoes back on. As soon as I was fixing to head for the door, my body felt cold. Then something hit me in the stomach. A sharp pain, actually. It's your stomach itch. Nothing big, I thought to myself. Well, I proved myself wrong because as the clouds began to roll away from my bedroom window, that was when it really hit me. The pain went from my stomach to my head and throughout the rest of my whole body. Oh, now what? I screamed in my head as I was clutching my stomach and then my head. As I felt my tensions raise and as I fell to the ground in pain, I happened to look up at the night sky above me and watched as the clouds rolled away to reveal a gleaming full moon. It calmed me a little bit, but that only lasted for a minute since the pain came back right after that. Why am I struggling to move? What's happening to me? I then screamed to myself again. Those were the last thoughts I thought, because that was when transformation struck me dead in the chest. The first thing I could feel happening to me was the sound of my own bones cracking and rearranging themselves into a new figure, and then watching my fur color change from a cobalt blue to a darker shade of blue, as well as getting fluffier. Next thing I knew, I felt the pain spike even higher as my body grew bigger and taller, along with my shoes also growing and changing to go in my new form. The last parts of the transformation came very rough, because I could feel the hard tensions being placed on my arms, hands, and face. I was on my knees when my muscles started to swell, and when my gloves ripped apart to reveal large, clawed hands in their place. Lastly, I felt my ears lengthen, sharp fangs popping out of my mouth, and a quick adjustment being made to my muzzle. Just like that, it was finished. The pain faded away fully, just leaving me alone in my room. After what I just went through, I had to huff and puff a bit as I struggled to get back up to my feet. What the heck just happened? I thought to myself. I touched the side of my face and felt where my forehead gotten fluffier from before. This actually surprised me, but then I became horrified when I happened to notice my gloveless hands, which were now clawed. What the heck? I then screamed to myself. My family couldn't see me like this since there wasn't a mirror in my room. I had to go find something to look in. I slipped out of my room without being spotted and headed toward the wooded part near where we lived. I happened to find a puddle and then looked down at my reflection. What I saw me both surprised and horrified at the same time. I had changed no monster.